seven levels below corresponds to ideas and divine consciousness. The seven levels below correspond to different degrees of concretization of ideas. Both Cha'ag and its bright counterpart are associated with the Demiurge, the creator that shapes the world. The seven worlds below the highest triad can be compared to the 7 days during which God created the world, according to the Bible. The act of creation arises as an impulse in Chakma receiving a negative form in Binah. Binah grants the space for something to be created, similar to melting a metal into a mold. Chesed is the principle that fills the form and thus creates a positive existence. Thus Chesed makes the impulse from Chakma concrete and acts as Chakma, but on a concrete level.
It's all about it's all about being here. Don't think too much when you're connecting with the
not yet actualized
Don't think too much
ideas.
about like diving
Only
into
on the
like
7 lower
other realms,
levels
but
is
also
the
be
world
conscious here.
actualized.
Be conscious and unconscious.
When
at
the
the same
adept
time.
encounters
Right.
Because you must
Cha'ag
be
the
both
preparation
to
for
achieve
leaving
that
the
balance to enter
concrete
the
level,
book.
Always,
journey
because
into
it'll
the
cause
absolute
it'll
core of the
literally
universe
trigger
that is
not
found
only
in the
spiritual
highest
change, because
triad.
it'll trigger spiritual change if you do it unconsciously.
Cha'ag Shebla
But
represents
when you do
the
it
forces that finally
unconsciously
test the adept
and
before the
consciously
journey
at the
through
same
the
time, you're
abyss
at that
has
level
begun.
of manifesting
Cha'ag
material
Shebla
things
undresses
from
the
the actual
adept
plane.
completely before
You
the abyss in the
you'll literally
highest
be able to
Qliphothic triad.
transform yourself
In
spiritually
the
and physically
Sumerian
in
tale
terms
of
of
the
DNA
descent of
wise.
the goddess
You know,
Inanna
there's a
into
reason
the
why magicians,
underworld, she
black
passes
magicians
7
like
gates
you and I
before
have
she stands
cells
before the
that not even
throne
the
of her
government can
sister,
explain.
the goddess of
Right.
death,
To the point
Ereshkigal.
where people call it Satan's
At
cell.
every gate, she is forced to remove
You know,
one piece
it's to
of
tap
clothing
into that,
until
it's
she
to
is
transform
totally
you.
naked.
It's almost like
The pieces of
transfiguration. You're
clothing
playing alchemy with
corresponds
your
to
body.
7 of the attributes of
Well,
life
when
that
we
she
talk
must
about
leave
alchemy,
behind to stand eye
and
to eye
especially when
with
you're
death.
playing alchemy with your
The
body,
7
because
Qliphot
everyone
below
does
the
this
abyss represent
like
the
in
7
some form
gates
of
of
way,
the underworld.
you know,
Right.
regardless whether you're
Gabriel
aware of
removes
it
the
or
attributes of
you're
Yesod
subconsciously
and
aware of
Samael
it.
those of Ha,
Meaning you're
and so
not
on,
consciously
until the
aware of it.
magician stands
right.
completely
And,
naked, be for the abyss.
Go ahead.
No, one of the
The
things that
Qliphothic
I really
forces
wanted to look
destroy
into
the
is,
pieces of clothing,
is really
the
diving
attributes,
into the
the
workings
illusions
of
that are
Abaddon.
obstacles for encountering the outmost darkness
because
and
Abaddon,
wisdom.
you know, he's definitely a
The
purifier
Shebla
spirit.
removes the
He
last
purifies
piece of
ignorance.
clothing and guides
Right.
the adept
Purifies
towards the abyss and
close-mindedness.
the
One
innermost
thing
domains of the underworld.
that I learned from him.
Ga'ag
And
Shebla
one thing
represents a
about
higher
Abaddon is,
level of
like,
erotic mysticism.
He's cool with
On
cutting all
this
that shit
level,
off.
lust and
but he doesn't
suffering are
tolerate bullshit.
transcended and
You know,
passed
right.
over
Right,
to each
right,
other
right.
in an
And, like, he's
ecstatic
really, like,
energy
down to
that
the
lies
point,
beyond the
you know,
polarity
okay,
between
why did you
attraction
send me
and
here?
repulsion.
You know, do
The
you have a
adept
goal that
goes
you want to
beyond any
achieve?
difference
Desire?
between lust and suffering.
How do you want to achieve
The energy
this
of
desire?
death, Thanatos,
Mhm.
is
It's
transformed
all-
into
it's
the
like
energy of
you have to
life,
have all
Eros,
these things
and
in
the
mind
emptiness of the
before
abyss is
working with
filled
these
with
type
the
of
energy
high
that
going
enables a
experiences.
metaphysical
I
rebirth
have,
in the midst
that's
of
why I
death.
always think about what
The demon
what I'm gonna
Astaroth
ask for,
rules Ga'ag
what
Shebla.
goals and what
Astaroth
my
is
desires
also
are
called
before I even
Astaroth
decide
or
to summon the
Astarte
spirit.
and was
Because if you
originally a
summon the
Semitic
spirit without
goddess
knowing
of
what the fuck
fertility
you
and
want,
war,
Right,
according to
right.
Ishtar among the
nothing's gonna
Babylonians and
happen.
Inanna of the Sumerians.
There's even times where people
In
summon
Goetic texts,
Goetic spirits and they
Astaroth
don't
is
show
called
up.
the unpure
You know, and
Venus
some
of the
people say, oh, they don't
Syrians
show
with
up.
female
It's because
breasts,
it's-
but he
dude,
has the head of an
you're doing it, you're
Astaroth.
trying too hard.
In the
you know?
Goetia, Astaroth
Don't
is the
try so hard.
29th demon and is in possession
Let
of
loose a little
tremendous
bit,
wisdom.
be you at the same time.
Astaroth can inform about the past,
channeling
the present,
other
and the
presence.
future, and can reveal all secrets.
Because that is the way of the
Astaroth was
adversary.
one of the
Improving
foremost of the fallen
individuality.
angels who were thrown into the
You know,
abyss,
an
and
individual
Astaroth
being.
of the
There's a
fallen
reason why
angels who were
the
thrown
way
into the
spirits have a
abyss,
bunch
and
of different
Astaroth can
personalities.
tell the adept
They're
about
all-
the fall of
they're
the
all-
angels
they're all
and the
the same
reason
part,
behind
the
his
same.
own fall.
The force of the void.
The abyss.
But at
Between
the
the
same
highest
time, they all have
divine
different
level and the
personalities.
lower,
Kinda like
there
there's
is an
different
abyss.
personalities
On the
with light
side of
beings.
light, this
Right,
can be
right.
likened
Like
to
just
an
how there's
enormous
different
slope that
personalities
leads
for,
down to the
Just
dark
like you-
side.
Yeah, just like there's
On
different
the dark
varieties of
side,
demons.
the
It's
abyss
all-
does
it's all
not
the same
exist
thing.
in the same manner.
Right. It's all the same. It's all.
The
but you have
adept
to
of
just
the
look
light who
within.
fails to reach
and
the
look
highest
outside.
divine triad falls down into
Because
the
if you look
abyss
within too
and
much,
might become a
sometimes
victim of
people
the
can become too
forces
much
of
in their own
chaos
head.
that dwell there.
You know.
From the
You could also
perspective
look
of the
at-
dark
you
side,
could also look at
however, the
outside
abyss can be
sources
likened
and
to a
ask
river
other
that
spirits for
separates the darkest center of the
or
underworld
outside
from the
spirits, because
surrounding
there's spirits
parts.
that are outside of our
In the Kabbalah, the abyss is
they're
called
outside of our
Masik
dimension,
Magdal.
you know.
In the abyss
They're
and
not
its
really
dark
part of
river,
her
all failed
So we have
adepts
to do
lie
a lot of
drowned.
extra things to summon
By
that
passing
stuff
the
like that,
abyss,
because
the
we
magician's
have to
old,
do these chants
limited
that are
form
connected
dies.
to these realms,
All
prehistoric
actions
chants
Right,
that are
right.
connected
determine
to
the
those
life
realms.
and will
Right,
of
we're
because
those
only
right.
able to
been
do
left
that because
behind.
we're spear shifters.
The
Is that
abyss
correct?
is transmuted in the abyss.
Exactly.
The forces
do
of darkness
things
polish
that
away
other
all
things can't do
limitations
with
that
our
hinder the
mechanism.
soul of the magician to
Exactly.
become divine.
Willingly.
After
And,
the abyss, the soul
One
becomes
thing
like
I've
a
also
black
learned is like
diamond
the
that
work
carries
of
all
Abaddon,
colors of
all
light
these
and the
crazy
specter
forces,
within.
is like, you could definitely
The
control
abyss
hurricanes for sure,
corresponds
because
physically to the
I
throat
can't
and
tell you
neck
how
and
many
the
times
part
I've
of the
summoned
back
rain
where the
hurricanes
spine
already.
passes into the
Right
brain.
during like a drip. And
Here
a day
we
where
can
it wasn't
find
even
the
supposed to be
shooting
raining, I'll do a
chakra,
ritual
which
and it
is
just
compared
starts
to
That
the
goes
lightning
with that
with
goes
6
with
heads.
being an air
Beings
sign.
and entities like Abaddon,
Like,
the angel of the abyss, and Kuranzu
controlling
dwell
what
in the abyss.
You know.
They consume
And
the
water
body
signs
parts
and
of the
such.
old, limited self that the magician leaves in the abyss to die.
Right, this is important.
Satariel.
He's about to explain that.
Satariel is the first Khalifa after the river of the abyss. The adept enters into Satariel reborn and baptized in the black water of the abyss. Satariel is the dark side of Binah, and these worlds are strongly related since Binah is already in itself a dark force that acts as a root of the left side on the tree of life.
Okay.
The difference is that Satariel is not part of the bright order of the tree of life, but part of the Sitra Ara on the other side. Both Binah and Satariel correspond to the dark and mysteries. They represent the principles that
interesting.
carry
Just
all
showing a picture
answers
of
within,
Lucifer.
but lie hidden in utter darkness. Satariel is the one who
That's it.
keeps secret and hides something.
Satariel could be
The
Abaddon
darkness
and
that is
Lucifer.
created in Binah acts as a negative
Summon
form
them for
in
your
which
transformation.
creation receives its shape.
Abaddon.
Binah and
What's interesting is
Satariel
I find a
represent
connection
time
with
and
authors.
destiny
Same.
and are associated with
Lucifuge,
goddesses of
definitely,
fate,
bro, when I
like
was
the
working with
Moires
Lucifuge,
and
he
the
definitely
Nordic
connected me
Norns.
strongly
The
to
three
their
Moires are
insanity.
Clotho,
Right.
Lachesis, and
Um,
Atrocos, and their
Lucifuge
task
told me
is
to
to
work with
spin
Abaddon.
twine and cut the life thread of each and every man.
This is demand.
Clotho holds
Like
the
it
distaff
demanded me
and
to
rules
work with
Earth.
Abaddon.
Lachesis rules what takes place during life,
Yeah,
and
Lucifuge-
Atrocos,
Lucifuge
who wears
will
a
take
black
that shit. He'll tell
veil,
you what to
cuts
do
the
with it.
thread
Hey,
that
you
determines
want
the
this?
And
Go
he'll,
do this.
he'll
In
be
the
like
same
this straight
way,
up with
the
you
three
and just
Norns
like real
Earth,
with you.
Verdandi, and
Yo,
Skuld
get shit
correspond to
done.
birth and the past, life
Yeah,
and
straight.
the present, and finally,
Be
death and the
good.
future.
And also one thing
Lilith
about
has
Lucifuge
her
is
original
don't,
abode
if
in
you don't think
Satariel,
that,
but
don't
similar
ever
to
think
the
that your
goddesses of
darkness
fate, acts
is
on the
above
lower
his.
astral level
Because if
where
you
she
ever in
weaves
your
the
mind
threads
think that
of
your
destiny
darkness
like
is
a
above
spider.
his, he will show you
Binah
real
and
darkness,
Satariel
real
correspond
darkness.
to
He's
the
like, oh,
gods
yeah,
of
you think
time,
that's real
Kronos
darkness?
and
I'll show
Saturn,
you
who
real
are the
fucking
ones who
darkness.
execute the rhythm
Right,
of
I'll show you what
destiny
real
by the
fucking
movements
evil
of the
is.
moon on the
If you
lower
wanna see
levels.
darkness.
The terrifying
And
Indian
that's when
goddess
it-
Kali
that's the
rules
moment
time,
when you
and
become
she
purified
too
as fuck.
corresponds to Binah
Right,
and
right,
Satariel.
right.
Because evil is
When the
purification.
adept reaches
That's all it is.
Satariel, a final
It's all how
step
you
into
use
the
it.
divine
Some people
level
use
is
evil
taken.
wrongly.
For the adept
Evil
of
is
the
an
dark
energy.
path
Not a
is
fucking
where
not,
the
not something
individual
that you
enters
fucking do.
into
People
the
just call
center
it
of the
that.
underworld to meet its
Human,
rule.
because of what humans do.
The
Humans are
adept will
fucking
meet
evil.
Ereshkigal, Hell,
Yeah, that's
Hades,
right.
Lucifer, Satan, or any of the
But
other characters
they
that are
have
associated
potential,
with the innermost
and
parts of
they
the
can
underworld.
overcome
At first,
anything
after having entered into
that's in their way.
Satariel, the adept
So
gropes
they have
around
the
in
power
utter
to
darkness.
change.
A common
This someone
experience that
did not
characterizes
choose to change.
Satariel is the feeling of wandering through long,
And
pitch
that's
black labyrinths.
that's some
The
that need to
demons
go.
of
That's not
Satariel
estimate
are
that needs to go.
associated
Oh, and also
with
one thing is
absurdities,
people have-
delirium,
That's
Totally.
why
confusion,
there's
and
such thing
mysteries.
as
Lucifuge rule
let's say
and should not be
population
mixed
control.
up with
right?
Lucifer.
And
Lucifuge
where
escapes
we
the
need
light,
to
while Lucifer
start
is the bringer of light.
population control for
Lucifuge
better.
leads the adept through the dark
People.
labyrinths of
I'm not
Satariel
saying
towards
we
the
should
last
start
levels
executing
of
fucking
Ki
people that we
Klifo.
don't need all.
In the darkness of
fucking
Satariel, one can experience the
caveman,
breath of the
you know,
great dragon,
RA or
Tahom.
Blade, you know.
In the tunnels,
I'm
one can
saying
hear
we
echoes
live
of
in one
strange
unified
sounds
way.
from the plains beyond the
You know,
limits of
people
the
that we
universe.
don't need, teach them.
At the darkest
way.
point, the darkness
Teach them
flares
how
up
to do
and
things.
becomes light. The adept experiences how the all-seeing eye of the great dragon is open. This stage, the adept attains clear sight and the third eye begins to open. This eye is called the eye of Lucifer, Shiva, or Odin.
Interesting.
In the old Greek Typhonian mysteries,
Lucifuge leads you
this
to open your
experience
third eye,
is called Drakon,
which is the
which
third eye
means to see.
of Lucifer, Shiva,
Gagiel.
or Odin.
Gagiel is the last,
Because they all sit at the third eye, isn't that
is the
interesting?
active force of the dark
That's
side.
why I feel like Shiva and Odin.
Gagiel is associated with phallic gods and beings like the devil in his
That-
most
I never heard
masculine
of that
sexual
before.
form, or the
That's the
antique
first
god
time I've heard that.
Priapos with his
Yeah, boys.
giant red phallus. Gagiel corresponds to Shiva in
that's
his
good
most
enough to
phallic
take down.
shape,
One
when
of the
the power of
deities
his
in the
lingam
religion
or
of
phallus
Gagiel
causes the third eye to
is actually
open
the-
so that
is
the
the meaning to
universe is
Shiva
destroyed
corresponds.
and recreated
Right.
in one in the same
It's
moment.
so interesting how
If
everything
Satariel is the throne
All-
of the
all
dark
poetic
goddess,
spirits
then Gagiel is
are
the
holy.
throne of the dark
Right.
god.
you know,
Beelzebub,
we all know,
is the
we all
prince of
know,
the demons,
I'm sorry, we all
ruling
know
Gagiel.
that most of the
His
angels
name is
are not
generally
angels.
interpreted as
In the
Lord
Bible,
of
that are
Light,
talked about in the
but
Bible.
archaeological
We all
findings
know
tell us
most of
Beelzebub
demons are
was
not
originally
demons
a
that are
Phoenician
talked about in the
god
Bible.
called Beelzebub,
We all
which means
know
Lord of
that
Lords.
most of the gods are
When
not
reaching
gods that are
Gagiel,
talked
one
about in the
becomes a
Bible.
magician
You feel
in the
me?
deepest
So-
and
sense.
even
Magic
You
is
can't
the
tell me it's
will,
not
and
Arthur.
this is the center
Exactly.
of will.
and you know what's
This
crazy
is
is
an
the fact
active
how
level
like,
that is represented by the
also
wand
what
of
a
the
lot of people
magician.
don't
The
know
wand
is
is
that
a
also this
copy of the world
earth
axis
is also
around
one
which
of the
the
dimensions
universe
of the infernal
rotates.
plane.
Right.
The male
You know,
sky
Mother
god,
Gaia
which can
herself
be found
was a
in
beast,
most religions,
you know.
corresponds to this
And
axis, and he
we're
is the
just
one
in
who
another one
creates
of the
and
realms,
upholds the
one of the
world
lower
in its
realms
order.
of-
The
of-
world
of
axis is the
of
phallus of the
abyss.
god.
Right.
Gagiel, ruled
But
by
we're not in a realm where
Beelzebub,
there's like, you know,
represents
too
the
much
forces of
shit
the
going on, but just
apocalypse
enough
that
shit
cause
to
the
where we
wand to
notice
break
it
and
enough
fall apart.
to make it a
The
report.
Lord of
And for
Flies
the government
feasts
to
on
hide
the
it from
old
us,
world,
you know,
like
you know how
flies
that
Just
consumed the
enough to get us fucking
From
by.
ashes
So
of the
Yeah,
old
exactly.
world,
And
the
we
magician
already know, we
recreates
all
the
already know
universe
that
by
aliens
raising
fucking
his
exist.
wand,
We all
lets
know
it
demons
become the
fucking
world
exist. We all know
axis around
angels
which a
and all
new
these
universe
types of
okay,
gods.
so what we call these things
Oh,
And
those
in
are all-
files, we
yeah,
call
the
them
goal of the
entities or
left-hand
masses
path,
of
according
energy,
to the
scientifically.
alchemical
For
path,
scientific
is the
purposes.
even that-
That's why they're there.
But even calling
The
it that
thonial
is just
clefa signifies the twin or the twin
limitation
god
you're
and is
putting-
represented
like,
by the
people
two
like that say
devil
like, you know,
princes.
how like, let's say how like,
Oh.
it's the same thing as me saying like,
They
oh, if you
correspond
want to
to
help
the
your heart
utmost
chakra,
polarity and
meditate
duality inherent
on
in one
Shiva or
principle.
Ganesh, right? Or,
Like a Janus
but the
face,
thing is that what people don't
double
understand is
princes gaze in
these
two opposite
beings
directions.
are universal. They're
One
masters of all
gazes
their
outwards
chakras.
on
Who are
that
you to
which
be
has
to be
been
like,
the
oh,
creation
this
that the
being is part
magician
of
has
this, this
promoted
being is part of the
and is
zodiac.
now
These beings,
emancipating
these beings,
himself.
well, these beings are like
The other is
from
gazing
different
in
fucking
towards the future and the
systems.
worlds that
These
the
beings are
magician,
from
now
different
as a
fucking
god,
universes.
is
These
able to
beings are from
create.
different galaxies.
Satan
These
is
things
the
are from
opponent
different timelines. These things are
against
from different
creation and those structures
multiverses.
that bind
These
together
beings have
existence
multiple
and limit the
versions of
magician.
themselves in
All it means
multiverses.
king
Exactly.
or lord, and
So,
is the one who creates.
You
and
can't
rules
tell
the
me
world.
that these masses of energies are not fake.
No, exactly.
And
No,
rebel are
exactly.
united
And
in
you know,
thought.
and you know, one thing
They
is
are
like
at each end
a lot
of
of
the
people
black
have a
hole that
misconception
opens when
that
the magician reaches
goetic
Gaia.
demons, not demons,
Satan
excuse me,
destroys universe A.
Goetic
and
I'm
lists
sorry,
the
Arthur.
magician as
You
a
can't tell me that they
creation,
are
and all
fake.
it opens
Yeah.
universe
Yeah, exactly.
B, in
They
which the
goetic
magician
spirits.
is
I
a
call them goetic spirits and
These
deities. of the
mysteries are
void,
considered
or
so
spirits of
revolutionary
the
and
void
difficult to
because we're the old
understand that
gods.
one deals
Right.
with
The
them
reason why I
exclusively
call
during higher
them
degrees
that
of
instead of,
initiation.
demons and stuff like that is because all
Thought
that shit was from
division is
corruption
the
of Abrahamic
reason why the
worship.
number
Right,
of
if you're
the
calling
creation
a demon a
Its
demon,
formula
first of all,
is
it's not even
double
called a
equals
demon.
Adama's
It's
agent,
called
the
a
black
daemon.
diamond. Numerologically,
Sorry.
numbers 1 to 10
A
and
daemon.
10 to 1
Yes, there you
represent
go.
the unity between man
It's
and
properly
God
pronounced a
from
daemon.
the beginning.
And one
The
thing
serpent
is,
biting its
Yeah,
own
what
tail
a
symbolizes
daemon
this.
is a
When the
messenger.
magician progresses
Messenger.
according to the Kabbalistic levels, Kether,
Right.
the highest principle, is reached at the final
it
stage.
could die randomly.
At Kether, the 10 and 1 have been
No, I'm
united,
saying, like,
and the
one,
circle
like,
has been
randomly
closed.
during
The
video,
adept of
and
the
then it
light
won't
reached
save.
his goal and become one with God. The dark adept
Do you have a
also
charger?
reaches this level, but has the choice
Yes,
at
but
this
it has to
stage
be
to
on
take
some
one more
needs,
crucial
either
step.
that, and that doesn't work.
Through
It's
Thaumiel
another one in my room.
level is open,
Oh,
a
can you
black
get
hole
that?
that becomes a gate to another
I can, but
universe.
it's kind of like, it's really
The
difficult
dark
to take
adept
out.
frees himself
Right.
completely
Oh,
from
fuck
God
it.
and the old
Alright.
creation and becomes
Yeah,
a
boys.
creator.
Yes, That's it, yo.
Instead of becoming one with